And they question, it's interesting because that's, I know, and I don't want to say that in the payment there's no data. What I'd like to say is there's I'm going to call it granular data about the payment processing side, for instance, about, cards that get processed and outcomes from those cards. That is very well documented. However, we seldom hear how many people are calling you, how many people are entering the online, how many people are actually going on your, like you said, showing up card present, how many people are using any other payment channel that is available. How is that metrics come?
Yeah.
And then what are the error rates? Like, for instance, how much calls, like, for instance, give you an example, like the one of the hospital, you had 200 calls, you arrive on Monday, and this is not just a one, unique situation. We hear this frequent. And I said, well, what's that look like? How much revenue is stuck there, right? And what does that cost? It's not the cost of the transaction because it's cost you already to get there.
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost you to recover that revenue when you actually have to call all these patients back and say, hey, Jonathan, I know that you left us a voicemail. You want to pay your bill, right? Well, how many staff do you have to make 200 calls? Because there is a cost to that.
There's a cost. You're
right?
absolutely right.
And there is a cost to not collecting that revenue. And then let's just say that because of this particular, I'm going to call it process inefficiency, because again, it's not the tool, it's the process. That ends up in collections. Now all of a sudden, that 60% cost there ratio, or whatever it may be, that's now cost that needs to be added to the inefficiency of the process. And the good news, and this is really why I'm so fascinated about this conversation and where the opportunities are, is that all this can be fixed. It's just that we need to think about the process versus look at the tools versus all the tools are there.